Welcome back. You're watching us on Business 360. Here's a quick recap of the headlines we're following this up.
Now, we are all too familiar with the idea of a business entrepreneurship, but the idea of a social entrepreneurship is still pretty new to most of us. Well, we present a few of these entrepreneurs who have actually made social work sustainable.
In a developing country like India, social entrepreneurship is a necessity. However, the very idea of social entrepreneurship is at a nascent stage. Well, we met a few entrepreneurs who have taken the step towards doing social work in a business-like manner. Like Siva Kotipalli, who started a micro-lending company, Dhanax, which links willing lenders in urban areas to borrowers across rural India.
The next main inspiration was to help 70% of India which is living in rural areas, provide them opportunities. They have the talent but they don't have the opportunities, they don't have the initial capital. So help them access capital at a cheaper rate.
Providing opportunities to the lesser privileged can bring rewards other than mere financial returns. However, social entrepreneurs face various issues. Biggest of them is explaining what exactly is a social entrepreneurship.
Social entrepreneurship is a comparatively new term in India. It's not like the very old thing going on. So that's the main difficulty we face whenever we approach anybody. First of all, they don't understand what is social entrepreneurship. They say, are you an NGO? So we have to tell them, no, we are not an NGO, we are a for-profit social entrepreneur.
Awareness aside, most entrepreneurs face problems intrinsic to their business, like Prashant did when it came to his enterprise Bamboo House India, an initiative that links bamboo farmers and artisans to the urban market.
So many forest laws involved, so many organizations involved, artisans are located at a place where there is like absolutely no facilities involved. At that moment of time, we used to think, let's leave it.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't, because thanks to Bamboo House India, bamboo artisans are now making a decent living. Starting your own social startup can have various dimensions, like with Anand Pendharkar, who started Sprouts with the intention of creating awareness about the environment, but his initiative has also been instrumental in giving employment to school and college dropouts.
We are looking for people who have these kinds of sparks, so that their career should not get damaged or lost because they don't have a MSc or a PhD degree. We are not bound by degree. Environment did not take me in this field because I had an MSc degree. I could have been in that field if I was a Mali.
Clearly, social entrepreneurs too think of profits, but not only for themselves. With Sharmista Chaudhary, Khushbu Patodia, UTVI, Mumbai.
So where does social entrepreneurship really stand in our country and what is its scope? That's exactly what we're discussing with Professor Animesh Bahadur. He's the assistant professor at NMIMS University in Mumbai. Thanks for joining us, sir. Well, in our country, do you think people really understand the difference between social service and social entrepreneurship?
Right now, people may not be very aware of the term, but the gradual awareness is increasing. In the last few years particularly the efforts in Bombay by TIS and my institute, Narsi Monji, they have seen a lot of sprouting of new ideas in social entrepreneurship, whereby a lot of NGOs have got together. They have presented their ideas together at national and international conferences, and through that a lot of new professional ideas have come on how to run these social enterprises, how to make them more sustainable first of all, and how to not lose the social cause at the same time.
Right. So Professor, somebody who is interested in this field, what can he do? How can he initiate himself into the process? Because as we heard our story played out before, not many people are aware of this concept. They mistake it with an NGO. So what would you say is the way forward?
The way forward, first of all, if you want to make it as a career, there are options available today. There are proper courses available, like our own institute offers a part-time MBA in social entrepreneurship. For working professionals, it's a very good course. Tata Institute similarly offers a similar course in social entrepreneurship. That's the career, from the career perspective. Otherwise, the major problems that you would face is, first is the finances. So the situation today is a bit changed, in the sense that there are social venture funds also available, which would be ready to fund a social enterprise. Secondly, now the normal funding also comes from institutional sources other than government. So they also know the levels of professionalism required. So even the private funds and corporate funds are supporting such kinds of programs which are being done by social entrepreneurs, as you were seeing in the clippings just before this.
You know, we have been speaking to a lot of young entrepreneurs across the country who've taken up social entrepreneurship. One thing is the understanding of how you bring about entrepreneurship to an NGO rather, but they have been facing a lot of resistance when it comes to investors.
Yeah.
How do you think, what is an easy way of convincing investors in, social projects?
See, there are two sides to it. First is convincing the traditional investor who was investing in a social cause. Today, that investor may have certain different demands, and the other is looking for other sources of investment who may be interested in your idea.
And what kind of ideas would these be, Professor? I mean, what can somebody who's interested in social entrepreneurship really work on? Or is it about...
It would be a social cause. It would be a social cause. It would be in interest of the society. It could be about society. It could be about environment. But at the same time, it has to be sustainable. That's what the investors are looking for. They would look for sustainability in the terms that if the support is withdrawn after a few years, can you sustain yourself on your own? Do you have alternative means of fundraising? Can you raise your own funds? All these will be a few issues that they would look for.
Can we get 3 tips for budding social entrepreneurs who have their eyes set on something like this?
Okay. First, be sure that your idea is sustainable. It's not just the social cause, but how you are going to implement that cause. Right. So it's not just the what, the how is also very important. Second is, make sure that you have a professional team which can think beyond the social issues and which can think how in long term you are going to improve your performance. And third, look beyond the usual sources of ideas as well as finances.
All right. Yeah. Well, in fact, there are a lot of those ideas that we're also discussing on our weekend show, Cracking Careers, that airs on Saturday at 8 a.m. and, of course, also on Sundays at 12 noon.
Right, Professor Bahadur, thank you so much for joining us. In fact, it is ideas like this that takes our country forward. Thanks once again for being on Business 360.
With that, it's a wrap here on Business 360. But do remember to log on to our website, utvi.com, for the very latest in the world of business.
Absolutely. That's it from Radhika and me. We'll be back with In-Depth Business Day. Stay tuned.